Right now, somewhere in China, engineers are building an army of robots. Robots built to take over factory floors. Robots built to stand behind a counter and serve you. Robots built at a scale the world has never seen before. And we are not talking about a few hundred units. We are talking about thousands of robots shipped in 2025, and thousands more rolling off the line as you watch this. While a company in the United States might build 100 to 200 robots in a month, factories in China are now pushing out 1 to 2,000. And these are not the clumsy, stumbling machines you remember from a few years ago. They are not walking like toddlers anymore. They are running like athletes. Today, we are going to break down exactly how China took over physical AI, how they crushed the price of a humanoid robot down to the cost of an iPhone, how they started building them faster than anyone thought was possible, and why, right now, the United States government is quietly hitting the panic button. Now let us get into it. To understand how we got here, you have to go back to where it started, and it started with a price. In May of 2024, a Chinese company called Unitree walked out and revealed a full-size humanoid robot called the G1, and the price stopped people cold: $16,000. To understand why that number was so shocking, look at what the rest of the world was selling at the time. Tesla's Optimus robot was still a lab prototype, nowhere near being something you could actually buy. Boston Dynamics, the most famous robotics company on the planet, was selling its Spot robot dog, not even a humanoid, just a four-legged dog, for around $75,000. And then there was Unitree, offering a walking, moving, full-size humanoid robot for less than the price of a used car. That one number changed everything, because at $16,000, the G1 was not just a product, it was a platform. Developers who could never dream of affording a humanoid suddenly could. Universities started buying them to teach robotics. AI labs started buying them to test their models in the real world. People who wanted to build the future of embodied intelligence finally had something real to build it on. And the price was only half the story, because the G1 could actually move. It could run. It could jump. It could pull off a backflip. It could fold clothes, throw a punch, and do things people had only ever seen robots do in science fiction films. And that is the exact moment the rest of China's robotics industry looked up and paid attention. Engineers and companies across the country saw what one team had pulled off with limited resources, and they all thought the same thing. If they can do this, imagine what we can do at real scale. The G1 set the benchmark, and it exposed the rule that would define this entire race. The winner of physical AI would not be whoever built the smartest robot. It would be whoever built it at the right price. But a low price by itself is not enough to take over the world. To do that, you need one more thing. You need to scale it. Mass production. This set off two races at the same time, and China decided to win both of them. The first race was price. How cheap could a humanoid robot possibly get? The answer came from a Beijing startup called Noetix. They built a small humanoid robot called Bumi, and they priced it at 9,998 yuan. That is roughly $1,400. The cheapest humanoid robot in the world. For the price of an iPhone, a developer, a school, or just a curious kid could now own a walking, dancing humanoid robot. When it launched in late 2025, it sold out in days. The second race was scale. Not how cheap, but how many. And this is where a company called UBTech stepped in. UBTech took its Walker S2 humanoid and did something most robotics companies only talk about. They put it into real mass production. By the end of 2025, Walker S2 units were rolling off a real assembly line, and UBTech was building a factory designed to push out 10,000 humanoid robots every single year. And UBTech was not even the volume leader. Another Chinese company called Agibot built more than 5,000 robots in 2025 all by itself. Now step back and look at the whole picture, because the numbers are staggering. In 2025, China shipped around 18,000 humanoid robots. That is close to 90% of every humanoid robot built on the entire planet. And in 2026, that number is projected to more than triple. One company, Unitree, is on its own planning to deliver somewhere between 10 and 20,000 units this year. Cheap robots, built by the thousands, flooding into the world, which leaves us with one obvious question: who is actually buying all of them? And the answer is far stranger than you would expect, because a huge number of them are not being sold to anyone at all. It was never about the robots. Here is the part that almost everyone misses. When you look closely at the Chinese robotics industry, the factories are producing far more robots than anyone is actually buying. Financial analysts at Morgan Stanley noticed the exact same thing, and they pointed out something revealing. The biggest players are not building all of these robots to sell them. They are building them to train them, because in physical AI, the hardest thing to get your hands on is not a smart model. It is data, real, physical, messy data about how to move through the actual world, how to grip a cup, how to climb a stair, how to catch your balance when someone bumps into you in a crowded room. You cannot scrape that off the internet. The only way to get it is to put real robots into the real world and let them collect it, hour after hour, body after body. This is the whole game. The West, companies like Tesla, Figure, and Google, are racing to build the smartest robot brain. China is racing to build the most robot bodies as cheaply as it possibly can and spread them everywhere. Factories, warehouses, living rooms, so they can harvest more real-world data than anyone else alive. And that realization is exactly what is now setting off alarms in Washington. Washington is panicking. For a while, the West watched all of this from a comfortable distance and assumed China was just building cheap toys. That assumption did not survive very long. Take Unitree's H1 robot. Back in 2024, the fastest it could move was a careful, deliberate walk, about 3 meters per second. By 2026, that same robot was sprinting at over 10 meters per second. For some context, Usain Bolt, the fastest human being who has ever lived, averages about 10.5. A Chinese robot is now running almost as fast as the world record holder. Then there is a company called Engine AI, which built a humanoid robot and named it the T-800. If that name sounds familiar, it should. It is the model number of the Terminator. And to prove the thing was real and not some camera trick, the company's own CEO stood in front of it, wrapped in protective padding, and let the robot kick him clean across the room. That same robot was the first humanoid in history to land a front flip. These are not toys, and the United States government has finally figured that out. In 2026, American lawmakers introduced legislation called the American Security Robotics Act, a bill designed to ban federal agencies from buying Chinese-made robots altogether. And the fear behind it is simple. A modern robot is a machine packed with cameras, microphones, and sensors connected to the internet, walking freely through hospitals, offices, and government buildings. If that robot was designed and built by a foreign rival, it is not just a worker. It is a potential spy on legs. It is the very same playbook the United States already ran against Chinese drones and Chinese telecom equipment. But look closely at what that panic actually tells you. The United States is not scrambling to block Chinese robots because they are failing. It is scrambling to block them because they are winning. You do not write laws to ban something the world is ignoring. What happens next? So here is where we actually stand. China has driven the price of a humanoid robot down to the cost of a phone. It is manufacturing them at a scale no other country is anywhere close to matching. It is using that scale to collect the one resource that actually decides who wins physical AI, real-world data. And the United States is alarmed enough to start writing laws about it. Now, to be fair, none of this is guaranteed. There are real warnings that this could be a bubble. China has over 150 humanoid robot companies fighting right now, and surveys show only about a quarter of buyers are genuinely satisfied with what they bought. A lot of these companies are not going to survive. But here is the thing about a flood. Even when most of the water drains away, whoever is left standing inherits the robots, the factories, and the single largest pile of real-world data anyone has ever collected. The race for physical AI will not be won by the country with the smartest robots sitting in a lab. It will be won by the country with 1 million robots quietly learning out in the real world. And right now, that country is not the United States. And this is only the beginning. The robots we talked about today, the ones running, flipping, and folding laundry, are the worst these machines are ever going to be. Every single day, thousands more roll off Chinese assembly lines, walk out into the real world, and start sending data home. The gap is not just wide, it is getting wider by the hour. A humanoid robot just knocked another robot's head clean off, and the damaged robot still kept fighting for a few more seconds. This happened in China during test matches for Engine AI's new Robot Combat League, where the company's T-800 humanoid is being pushed through real fighting conditions before the first major event in July. The T-800 is a full-size humanoid robot built to take serious impact. It stands around 6 feet tall and weighs up to 187 pounds. Its body uses a magnesium-aluminum alloy frame, which helps keep the robot lighter while still making it strong enough for heavy strikes. Inside the joints, the T800 can produce up to 450 Newton-meters of torque. That gives the robot strong force for punches, kicks, balance recovery, and fast body movement. The name T800 is not random either. Engine AI clearly designed it as a direct reference to the Terminator, and founder Zhao Tongyang has leaned into that aggressive image. But the viral footage is what made people pay attention. In one clip, a T800 lands a strike so hard that the opponent robot's head pops off. Instead of shutting down right away, the headless robot keeps moving and swinging before finally losing balance. That moment showed how much punishment the robot body can survive before failing. Other clips show the T800 doing kicks, spins, mid-air rotations, and boxing-style exchanges. One earlier kick even knocked down Engine AI's own CEO, which shows how powerful these movements can become when a full-size humanoid robot is built for combat testing. These fights are part of URKL, short for Ultimate Robot Knockout Legend. Engine AI launched the league in Shenzhen in February 2026, and it is being promoted as the world's first professional combat league for full-size humanoid robots. Around 16 teams are taking part, including teams from universities, research labs, and companies. Engine AI is giving T800 units to these teams for free, so each team can focus on software, movement control, fight strategy, and robot performance. The league is planned to run in different stages through December. The biggest prize is a championship belt made from 22 pounds of pure gold, worth around $1.44 million. But the rules make this more serious than a simple robot show. Remote controls are not allowed, and teams cannot add destructive upgrades. Each T800 has to fight using its own software, which means the robot must decide how to move, attack, balance, and recover. That is why this league matters beyond entertainment. Every punch, kick, fall, and recovery gives Engine AI a harsh test for balance, sensors, stability, and impact resistance. These same skills could later help robots work in factories, warehouses, and service jobs, where heavy movement and fast recovery are important. The company also claims it can build one robot every 15 minutes. Since being founded in 2023, Engine AI has raised about $350 million and is now chasing a Hong Kong IPO at a $1.5 billion valuation. Still, not everyone is comfortable with this direction. Footage of headless robots throwing punches raises serious questions about safety, misuse, and where combat robots could go next. Engine AI says the goal is to build tougher, smarter, and more useful robots, but the debate around robot fighting is only getting louder. With the first major URKL event coming in July, this is only the opening round. But while Engine AI is making robots look tougher, another Chinese robotics giant is going in the complete opposite direction. UBTech is trying to make a humanoid robot feel less like a weapon and more like someone living inside your home. UBTech just revealed a robot that is being sold less like a factory worker and more like a human-like companion. The new robot is called the U1 Pro series, and it launches under UBTech's new consumer robot label called U-World. This is a big shift because UBTech is already known for industrial humanoids, like the Walker series, but U1 Pro is aimed at homes, social interaction, and personal connection. U-World is UBTech's push into consumer robots. Instead of building a robot, mainly for factory tasks, UBTech is presenting U1 Pro as a robot that can talk, remember, respond, and fit into a home environment. The company built it around four main ideas: a memory-emotional AI model, better human-robot interaction, local encryption for memory, and a customizable appearance. In simple terms, U1 Pro is designed to remember the user and respond in a more personal way. The most eye-catching part is the design. UBTech revealed two very human-like versions. One is styled as a man in a black suit with blonde hair and glasses. The other is styled as a woman with long blonde hair and a black dress. The male model stands about 6 feet tall and weighs around 93 pounds. The female model stands around 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighs about 77 pounds. Both versions have 88 degrees of freedom, which means the robot can move many body parts with more detail. UBTech also says the robot can run for about 2 to 4 hours on one charge. The memory feature is the real headline. U1 Pro is built to remember preferences, daily routines, and past conversations. That matters because a companion robot inside the home would need to understand the person it is living with. UBTech says this memory is protected with local encryption, which sounds important for privacy, but encryption does not automatically mean full privacy. UBTech has not clearly clearly confirmed whether all processing happens on the robot itself or whether some data is sent to the cloud. So that detail still needs attention. U1 Pro is already getting interest before the full reveal. UBTech opened pre-orders on JD.com on June 2nd with a deposit of 3,000 yuan, or about $442. The robot received more than 3,000 orders in just 8 days. The final price has not been revealed yet. The full launch is planned for June 30th, and early shipments are expected around mid-September. But this is where the hype needs a reality check. There is no clear proof yet that U1 Pro can cook, clean, climb stairs, or carry heavy loads. One report says it may be limited to standing up, sitting down, and walking on flat indoor floors. So for now, U1 Pro looks more like a realistic social companion than a true home helper. This still matters because UBTech is not a small startup. The company launched in 2012 and became the first humanoid robot company listed in Hong Kong in 2023. With U1 Pro, UBTech is betting that emotional, human-like home robots could become the next big robot category. Astrobot S1 just showed one of the most important ideas in humanoid robotics. A robot can try a task on its own, accept human correction when something goes wrong, and turn that correction into better training data. At ICRA 2026 in Vienna, Astrobot showed S1 using a vision language action workflow. In simple words, S1 can look at a scene, understand what needs to be done, and turn that understanding into real movement. This is not just a robot repeating one fixed command. It is a robot using AI to work through a task while still allowing a human to help when the task becomes difficult. The most important part is how smooth the control loop looks. S1 can begin a task on its own, then a human operator can step in through VR, correct the motion, and give control back to the robot without a clear break. That means a mistake does not have to stop the whole process. Instead, Astrobot can turn the mistake into useful training data. The robot tries the task, the human fixes the failure, and that corrected motion becomes a better example for the AI to learn from. This is why the real robotics race is becoming more about data, models, deployment, and then even more data. The hardware is also a major part of the story. S1 is Astrobot's flagship cable-driven AI robot. It stands about 5 feet 7 inches tall, with an arm span of about 6 feet 4 inches. Each arm has 7 degrees of freedom, and one arm can carry around 11 pounds. The battery life is listed at about 4 to 6 hours, with plug-in support. S1 is not a walking humanoid like Atlas. It is a wheeled mobile robot with a human-like upper body built for fast and precise arm work. The cable-driven body is important because it helps S1 move more like human muscles. This design can reduce unwanted looseness in the joints, lower the weight the motors need to move, improve force control, and make the robot safer around people. That helps explain why S1 looks smooth while handling objects, folding clothes, opening doors, organizing items, and using tools. The robot is not only moving quickly, it is trying to move with control. The teleoperation system is just as important. Astrobot describes a VR setup using a MetaQuest 3S headset and joysticks. A human operator can control S1 in first-person view for detailed handwork, or third-person view for bigger body movements. The system reports a 100 Hz control frequency, about 20 milliseconds from command to action, and around 100 milliseconds image delay in first-person mode. The distance makes this even more impressive. The demo connected Shenzhen and Vienna, roughly 5,600 miles apart. S1 is still not perfect, especially for long multi-step tasks, but the direction is clear. The next big robotics breakthrough may be a robot that fails, gets corrected, learns from that correction, and comes back better. So from robot fights to human-like companions, factory production, smarter hands, and robots learning from human correction. This week shows how fast physical AI is moving. The big question now is simple. Are these robots becoming useful tools, or are humans opening a door that will be hard to close?